So, Darkfest. South Shropshire is a dark sky area, and Ben and I had worked together before on a project and had a little play around with light and got a bit inspired, and it took 2 years, and then COVID happened, and then we reimagined it in a post-COVID world, and the Arts Council have supported this project, which is fantastic, and we've got a collaborative team together, creative team together, of a writer, a composer, a storyteller, an aerobics instructor, photographer and a fire artist, and together we've put together a series of installations and events. So we've had creative writing workshops happening in the valley, which have produced poetry, which has gone to the composer who's set them to music, and then her singers are going to come and sing it. They'll be standing in this hollow singing in the dark, and then there's going to be a series of light installations up the valley. We've got silent disco after dark aerobics with people wearing fairy lights, who are going to be photographed by a bunch of people learning how to take pictures in the dark, which isn't quite as daft as it sounds, painting with light. And we've got storytelling around a brazier. We've got for kids up here lower in the valley, and then right on the very top of the valley we're going to have late night tales for adults.
But also one of the key elements of funding has been a sort of access budget, which allows people who can't necessarily walk in a place like this, they can't necessarily get out, they can get as far as the cafe, and we're going to be live streaming the whole event to the cafe on the Saturday night. Wild Edric, a local media production company, are going to be doing that, and actually they've worked out a way of putting it out on YouTube as well, so you can watch it from anywhere in the world, which is fantastic.
The response has been amazing. We had quite a short run-in for this project, minimal marketing budget, and we've sold 600 tickets for the light trail, and every other workshop has sold out. So I think that shows that there's interest and that there's appetite. I think we've just really struck a chord. We thought, who'll want to come out in November? Well, the answer is lots of people want to come out in November.
Hi, I'm Kate Johnston. I'm one of the artists working on Darkfest. I have created a series of artworks, one of which you can see in front of you. We have called a moonaration. We've invented a new word for it, and it's an ethereal piece of art which I'm hoping looks beautiful in the daytime but becomes animated at night time, and also becomes animated when there is wind also, because they will gently spill the wind. So we have been rigging them today. It's coming upstream into this pond area. We've been hammering in stakes, and we've got these kind of, I suppose they're like moon vessels on these fiberglass poles. There's a whole series of them, and as a collective I think it looks quite striking in the pond. And they're inside, we have got bracken, and some of them have rush also, which have used from the local fauna around us, that's inspired the creations of these moon vessels. So we're just going to rig them now. Right.
Okay.
Just finding some good hammering ground.
Okay. Somewhere here?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So at about dusk time, not long to go, we're switching them on and they'll glow, and you should be able to see the lovely silhouettes from the fern.
So I'm John Bilstein. I've been working with Kate Johnston on a little bit of a collaboration for the project on a few of the installations for tonight. The first of which is a series of 3 orreries, taking inspiration from the landscape and being in the space, and the whole thing is about night and darkness, but also about light and reflection. And this lower pond is perfect for those reflective moments. So we came up with the idea of these 3 rotating orreries that take advantage of the swirling, eddying winds in the valley, which give lovely movement, and hopefully will pick up the pond, and the water surface beneath will pick up the light, and get a nice reflective glow. And we've kind of picked up on themes of moon phases, of planetary orbits, and and looking at different light forms. So there's a bit of fire in there and a bit of electric light. So yeah, a bit of reflection as well. Tomorrow night we extend up the valley, past the phases of the moon, and up to the reservoir where we have some floating fire on the upper reservoir, and looking out into the distance, there'll be a representation of the moon, hopefully glowing in the darkness.
I'm Mary Keith and I'm the musician choir leader on this project. What the process is involved is responding initially to some words that were created in some workshops that were led by the writer Jean Atkin. And Jean brought some groups of writers up into the hills in August, sort of at twilight, moving into darkness, and got them to write words about the dark. And then out of that she constructed 3 rather lovely collaborative poems, but also a lot of other poems came out as well that people wrote. And so she sent them to me, and I picked out bits I thought, yeah, that works really beautifully, and didn't have to change too much really. The 3 collaborative poems I've used pretty well straight as they are, and then just using them as the basis, set them to music for kind of unauditioned community choirs, shall we say. So we basically just opened this out to anybody to come and sing, and yeah, so we're going to sing in the dark. Hopefully people are worrying already about remembering their words. There will be a little bit of light, but I think for me it's about the process really, and about us meeting together and singing. It's not a performance in that respect. It's not like a formal concert. We're not presenting it as a finished piece. We will be nestled in a little kind of grassy hollow, and hopefully the sound will drift over the valley. So as well as the choir music, I've actually taken the melodies from some of the songs and actually used them to then create a backing track really for the visuals. So I've been sort of talking with John and Kate and looking at the sort of inspiration for their visual light trail, and we talked a little bit about how it'd be quite nice to have some kind of soundscape to accompany it. I mean, there's a lovely natural soundscape here in the valley anyway, with the constantly running water, but we've sent something just to add a little extra atmosphere. And so what I've done is created a 20 minutes of kind of droney atmospheric soundscape, but weaving into that melodies from the choir song. So it was really nice to actually use those songs in that aspect as well, so to sort of create another texture, another layer.
So we've actually come from London to see this. London is not a place where you get dark or peace, and it's been gorgeous to be here.
It's just been amazing. I mean, I did silent disco yesterday. I think it was one of the best discos I have ever done.
Well, we've just been a silent disco at the Long Ringe. We had absolutely no idea what to expect, did we? And we've wrapped ourselves up with parcel tape and lights, and it was amazing.
It was absolutely fabulous. Dancing in the moonlight, grooving with the stars, just brilliant.
The installation at the top with the ripples on the water, where it goes from being like two circles through to an absolute pathway right the way across the dam into the whole set of lights. It made me want to swim across, basically.
So as part of the photography workshop, we thought we'd make the most of some of the light installations here. So we've, and also the silent disco, which we've just been photographing. So we've now come down along the light trail from there, and we have these orreries in the water, which look very beautiful because they're moving lights, but we also have very good reflections. So we're going to set the cameras up so we can have a nice long exposure and try and get the light so that it moves through the frame, and then you get nice sort of a moving sort of feeling with these lights. So we'll turn head torches off in a minute, set up the cameras properly, and then try and just do some long exposures of the lights that are floating in the pond down here.
night dance with me.
Take my lustrous hand.
The moon stands witness, trust in me.
Take my lustrous hand.
Confess aloud to this black night.
I will free your cares. 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 rushing, one step ahead of you. Day slips, dust edges in across the hill. Dark grows, listen to its hush becoming rushing, one step ahead of you. Day slips, dust edges in across the hill. Dark grows, listen to its hush becoming rushing, one step ahead of you. Day slips,
Well, totally incredible. It's just really beautiful, and the skill of the reflections and the water and having things suspended above rather than floating on the water, I think is really incredible. Love the phases of the moon coming and the simplicity of just using natural materials to actually make those shapes.
I love the honesty. There's honesty seeds, isn't there, in some of the lights, I think, some of the little installations. It's really beautiful. We've loved it. Thank you, Shropshire.
So what's really important to say is this has been a massive team effort, from the artists to the funders to the filmmakers to the volunteers. It just couldn't have happened with everybody pulling together and taking this idea and going, that's a good idea, we'll make that happen. So thank you to everybody, and everyone's response that's come off the trail has really made me feel like it's been worthwhile.